Welcome children. In today's video we will read about end results of the products of photosynthesis and the factors which affects photosynthesis. So as we have already learned in the previous section that the products which are formed during photosynthesis, it is glucose, water and oxygen. So what is the fate of these three end products? What happens to these three end products? Let's know. So sugar, glucose, it is used in four different ways. First is it is immediately consumed by the plant cells. Plant cells need energy, so for that it consumes glucose. Secondly, it is stored in the form of insoluble starch. This glucose, it is taken to different parts of the plant through phloem, and there it is stored in the form of starch for future use. It is converted into sucrose, as you can see in plants like sugarcane, and it is used for synthesizing fats, protein, etc., other nutrients. So these are the four things which happens with glucose. Now what happens to the water which is produced during photosynthesis? So the water which is produced, it is reutilized in the continuation of process. That means the water which is produced, it is again used for the process of photosynthesis. Now what happens to the oxygen which is produced? So in a way, if we say oxygen is a waste product of photosynthesis, but oxygen is very useful. We know the oxygen formed, it diffuses out, and this oxygen, it is used by all the organisms for their respiration. Some part of this oxygen, it may be used for the plant itself for their own respiration, a phenomena which is called photorespiration. Okay. Now we'll talk about factors affecting photosynthesis. What are the factors which affects photosynthesis? So it is light intensity, carbon dioxide content, temperature and water content. So we'll be talking one by one. Factors could be external factors, the outside factor, and internal factor that is within the plant itself. So let's talk about first of all external factor, light intensity. So it's very obvious, like if the light intensity will increase, photosynthesis will also increase. Most of us think like that only. Like if we keep on increasing the light intensity, then the rate of photosynthesis will keep on increasing. But this does not happen. What happens if you increase light intensity to certain extent? Like we are increasing the light intensity to certain extent, the rate of photosynthesis will increase, of course. But at this point, what will happen? A point will come, S1, that is stabilization point 1 will come. After that, if you are further increasing the rate of photosynthesis, you are further increasing light intensity, nothing will happen. That means your photosynthesis, it increases with light intensity to certain extent, then it gets stabilized, and after that if you keep on increasing light intensity, nothing will happen, rate of photosynthesis will remain stable. Now what happens if carbon dioxide concentration is increased? We know carbon dioxide is an important raw material for photosynthesis, but don't think that you will keep on increasing carbon dioxide so the rate of photosynthesis will keep on increasing. No, it does not happens like that. If the concentration of carbon dioxide is 0.02, okay, so you increase it to 0.05, it will increase, the rate of photosynthesis will increase, and at 0.05 what will happen? After 0.05% concentration, again the rate of photosynthesis stabilizes. Now if you increase the rate of photosynthesis, you will see there will be no increase in rate of photosynthesis. That means light intensity plus carbon dioxide, both, it increases with these two factors. Rate of photosynthesis, it increases to certain limit and then it stabilizes. For carbon dioxide, rate of photosynthesis increases between 0.02 to 0.05, and after that it stabilizes. Okay. Now we'll go to the next factor, that is temperature. We know optimum temperature which is needed for any physiological process, that is between 25 to 35 degrees Celsius, you can say, because that is the temperature at which enzymes work well. Below this temperature the enzymes are inactive, and above this temperature the enzymes becomes denatured. So what happens here? The photosynthesis, it is maximum between 25 to 35 degree. You can say the photosynthesis is maximum between 25 to 35 degree, and if you increase the rate of photosynthesis to 35 degree, what will happen? Above 35 degree it will stop falling down, coming down, and at 40 degree the rate of photosynthesis will stop at 40 degree. And we need to remember one more thing: up to 35 degree, with every 10 degree rise in temperature, the rate of photosynthesis doubles itself. Like for example, just think that at 20 degree the rate of photosynthesis is 20 degrees Celsius. Just I am giving you an example. The rate of photosynthesis is 2, maybe 2 centimeter per second. Okay, just an example. So at 30 degree what will happen? It will double itself. It will double itself means it will become 4. So we need to remember photosynthesis, it is maximum at optimum temperature, that is between 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. If we increase temperature from 35 to 40, rate of photosynthesis decreases, and at 40 degree rate of photosynthesis, at 40 degree photosynthesis stops. And within 35 degree, what happens? With every 10 degree rise in temperature, the rate of photosynthesis doubles itself. Okay, every 10 degree rise in temperature, rate of photosynthesis doubles itself. Like for example, a rise from 20 to 30 degree, or maybe 22 to 32 degree, or maybe 25 to 35 degree. What will happen? With every 10 degree rise in temperature, the rate of photosynthesis will double. It will double itself. Now water content is not having a direct effect on photosynthesis, but if water content is less, what will happen? Stomata will close, and as the stomata closes, carbon dioxide intake will become less, and rate of photosynthesis will also decrease. So these were the external factor. Now let's talk about internal factors. So the first internal factor is chlorophyll. We know without chlorophyll photosynthesis cannot take place. So if there is some nutritional deficiency and the plant loses chlorophyll, so it will not be able to trap sunlight and photosynthesis will not take place. Now protoplasm, dehydration of protoplasm. This is more or less same as water content. So but it is inside the cell. Protoplasm, dehydration of protoplasm due to some reason, maybe water is not available, or maybe more carbohydrate is there, whatever is there. If protoplasm gets dehydrated, then it will reduce the rate of photosynthesis. Okay. Now the next internal factor, that is structure of leaf. Structure of leaf also affects the rate of photosynthesis. If the cuticle is very thick, or if the stomata is less, size of leaf is more or less, all these factors, it determines the rate of photosynthesis. Think a leaf is big and it is having flat, a lot of surface area, and a leaf is narrow. So obviously the thicker one will have more photosynthesis because it will contain more stomata, more exposed surface and all that. This will have less photosynthesis. If a particular leaf is having more stomata, it will have more photosynthesis. If a leaf is having thick cuticle, it will have less photosynthesis. So structure of leaf also determines whether photosynthesis will be more or photosynthesis will be less.